and welcome to Ayr bus station. You join me here this afternoon live. I'm not going to spoil things too much for you, but there's a video coming up on the channel later tonight, and I got a vehicle I have been after for quite some time. Think without spoiling. Think tours. That's all I'm saying. Tours. Anyway, we'll be doing this live stream now for the next, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. See how it goes. See what everyone's up to. That's YM64AHL over there. It's looking really busy for the Glasgow run, but we'll play it by ear, as I said. And we'll see how things go. You know, there's one thing I don't understand about this place, and I'm just going to say this just now before it slips my mind. It clearly says no pedestrian access across the entrance on the concourse. Up and down here, maybe 3 o'clock, and people that have been walking over there to get to the bus stands have turned off. Now we've got X77SL on 977. One of the few remaining elites still in the beach ball livery, but the question is, for how long? I'm trying to consume in on it. Now, when I'm doing YouTube live, that's the closest I can zoom into it, I'm afraid. We'll stay down in this position for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll go up to the top, see what we can see, and maybe even take a little walk along to the spar shop, because I could go a drink actually at the moment. Whether it's a bottle of water, which is the best option, soft drink, or anything really, to be honest. So good afternoon if you're just joining us. Welcome to the stream. We'll be streaming down here at Ayr bus station for about, I reckon, maybe about an hour. We'll see how we get along. So how's everyone's day going so far? Hopefully everyone's all well. That was actually quite nice earlier on, because I changed buses at Prestwick to go into the airport to use the toilet, and managed to get an ex-Fifer back into Ayr, one of the ex-Tailline 99ers. So I'll be doing a lot of that. I'll be doing a lot of the pre-recorded uploads later on, and once I've done this stream I might go back and do some more. I think there's about tablet at the moment. A little bit more. So, hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's content when I was up in Dundee with Aaron. We'll be back up there again at the weekend. Not really seen an awful lot down on this bit at the moment, so I might head round to the little roundabout down there and see what we can see later. We have about a few minutes to see if we can see from here, because that's the thing about doing YouTube live, is if I keep talking and then if you run out of things to say it becomes boring, which hopefully it's not going to become boring, because when do I ever run out of things to say?
So you sent me a fucking chat
I might run out of intelligent things to say, but when do I ever run out of things to say? Mind you, when have I ever said anything intelligent? Oh, one thing I haven't said, but I do need to let you know about. The Volvo BZLs on the 99 up in St Andrews are now doing driver training. I saw that on Facebook this morning, and it looks like they might be ready to hit the roads pretty soon. So on Saturday, as well as doing the 74A ways and 73B one way, I'm going to try and get over to St Andrews and get a still picture of it. So I've got a booking for Ember, going from Castle View just outside Stirling at Dundee, and I think we might change that booking and go up a little bit further. See how we get along. Or I might even take the 23 up to Kinross and get the 77 to St Andrews. That wouldn't be a bad idea actually, to be honest. That would probably make more sense. But having said that, another thing I saw on social media today was one of the interdects that's normally on the 77 was doing a 747. Apparently that's going to become the norm now. 747 for one run in the morning to help out with capacity. We've got SHI23 HTL on the 4 there to Kilmarnock for Glasgow, 66007 Volvo BZL. We were just talking about these just a couple of seconds ago. And not only that, the viral 400 MMCs was on the 787. ACM to be exact. And yesterday morning, 54513 I think it was making an appearance on the X22 to Stirling again. Now, I've got a personal appointment at the optician's next Tuesday morning, so I'm thinking if I get down to Alloa early enough, if there's one on that route that morning, because it's only doing one run in the morning. Whether that's going to become normal or not, I don't know. We'll do our best to try and get a video of that, or at least a still shot, because that would be awesome. Right, I'm going to go a bit further up. There's too many people going past for my liking, so we'll go a bit further up and see what we can see. I'm a bit quick there, I'm in a car park to give them time to get across. Anyway, not worried about that. There's also been some news that the 747 route is going to be benefiting from Volvo BZLs as well, because apparently, according to a picture that I've seen on social media, one or two have arrived at Dunfermline depot, and they're going to be going on the 747 route. Well, they're going to be in the livery for that route, in that sort of white and pink livery that the MMCs are in just now. So 26166 is going to get repainted out of its original Jet 747 livery and into the new one, as we see LC71KYA going round there, followed by 19266 on the 43 MX08 GOP, or GDP as I called it in the pre-recorded video, which I've still got on my tablet. I'll maybe need to edit that if I remember. But yeah, as I said, 26166 is going to be the only MMC for the 747 that's never actually been in the white and pink livery. Personally, I prefer the original livery, the older one. I don't mean the one that was plastered all over the solos when the 747 first started. And I'm talking way back in the mid-noughties, when I was just a teenager. Yeah, that wasn't just yesterday, thanks for reminding me. It's something I've always preferred, being original, Now, SP62BUO on the 585 to Largs. Largs is a beautiful place. I haven't featured it much on the channel this year. In fact, I don't think I've been there at all this summer. 28660, a Dawson depot. And that's terrible you've not been there, Gallivanter. That's absolutely terrible. It's number 6 Bossell Park down there. Can't quite make it out from this distance, but go down there in just a sec and have a look. I'm just looking around, see if there's anything else coming in. Not at the moment, there's not. So, let's cross over. You've got to advise like you're heading crossing this road, I tell you. Especially in this direction I'm going. Diesel powered bus coming along. These electric ones, not the easiest to hear. There's a few places I like to spot when I'm down here. I've got certain spots in certain places where I'll bus spot. Down here, this is one of them, because you see the buses coming in here, and you see the town ones, like the ones that don't go down to the bus station. You know, 1s and 2s and that, although some of them do come up this road that you can see the end of. That road there is what I'm talking about. Some of them do come up there and turn right round to here, just like I think that's what that number 6 may have done. They don't all do that though. I think some go around the town centre and then come back down past Witherspoons and then take a left and then sit with that number 6 is sitting over there. But at the moment, as you can see, there's not much going on, but we'll go down and see what this number 6 is. My personal opinion on BZLs at Stagecoach Dunfermline Depot, I'm all for it personally, because I think the BZLs are lovely vehicles. They will feature more on this channel the more they feature, or the more of them that come to Scotland. Because at the moment, the only places I can think of that actually have them in service are Kilmarnock Depot. They're not in service anywhere else that I'm aware of. Hunter Scotches had one on trial. They decided it wasn't for them. And didn't Bay Travel have an Enviro 200 EV on trial, from what I remember, a couple of years ago. I don't know where that one went. I genuinely don't. Because Aaron and I were just talking about that the other day there. Or a couple of weeks ago it was. Because me and mates, we talk about buses quite a lot. LC71KXP is that one, on the 6th to Marchburn via Walker Road. I haven't got a clue where Marchburn is, and I certainly don't know where Walker Road is. As you can tell by the accent, I'm not from down here. Jack says, "Hey Alba, what's up?" "Hey Jack, how you doing, buddy? How's things?" And he says, "Is Aaron not with you today? You were with him yesterday in Dundee." Yes, I was. Unfortunately, no, he's not with me today. He's at work today, so... But he's going to be with me again on Sunday. We're heading to Barry, just north of Gleneasty, for some train spotting. And we've got another one coming up a week on Thursday where we're going to be doing quite a bit. We're heading to Glenrothes and St Andrews. We've got quite a few routes coming up next week. Next week's starting to fill up already, and we're not even halfway through this week. And 156 Andrew says, "Hi Albert, I saw 54265 doing an X25 today." And Jack says, "That's a shame for Aaron." It is, in all seriousness. I know he calls me Shrek, I call him Shorty, but that's just a bit of fun between mates, you know. He calls me Shrek because believe it or not, I'm nearly 6'5". I'm a giant compared to him because he's only 5'5". So it's a case of little and large. I think I'm the tallest in the family. Certainly, as my mum said, certainly the most knowledgeable when it comes to music. I'm not so sure about sport. I do have quite a good knowledge of football, but we don't really discuss football, sport, politics or anything like that on this channel. Oh, hello. See that sneaking in there, 3 to Kincaidston, LC71 KVF, or Kincaidston, whatever. I think it's Kincaidston, is how you pronounce it. 156 Andrew says, I heard might get a couple X20, X74 doing X25 and X25A. That's true. Actually, you've just reminded me, there's something else I was going to tell you about, I nearly forgot. Earlier on, there was I saw something on social media the other day there, end of last week, Friday I think it was. There was an Enviro 400 MMC on the X74. Now, I would personally have that over a Interdeck any day. I know they're a bit slower than an Interdeck, they don't have air conditioning, and they don't have a working toilet. Well, I don't think any stagecoach vehicles of that age actually do have working toilets now. Because I tried to use one on the Elite coming down, X77BUS, and wasn't working. But enough about that. So, as I stand outside Boswell Park, I don't know, this is Boswell. This can't be Boswell Park, surely. I thought Boswell Park was a suburb of here. It can't be. Anyway, there was a few comments left under that picture. Well, one comment in particular from someone that wasn't very nice, so that's been dealt with. It's been reported and blocked this person. Because basically they said to me, is that because you're too fat to manage the stairs? And I thought, no. I'm about 3 stone overweight. I can easily climb the stairs in an Interdeck. Because I'm always banging my bloody head on them. That's why I don't like them. Being 6'5". Well, nearly 6'5". The other thing I don't like about them is that there's only 2 seats downstairs. And although some have 3 stairs, some have 3 downstairs. Some drivers will let you sit downstairs, some just insist that everyone sits upstairs. I think the ones downstairs are only meant for the people who are actually disabled, which I suppose is the right thing, because that's what they're for. But I remember one time having a conversation with a driver on X76, and one of the friendliest drivers I've ever met, so hello if you're watching, mate. And I boarded in Kilmarnock bus station and we're travelling all the way to Glasgow, and we had a really nice conversation. I didn't make any YouTube content on that vehicle that night. I think it was back in around about February or March time, if I remember rightly. It was about 8 o'clock at night and it was almost dark, and it was certainly bloody cold, that's for sure. Whereas today down here in Ayr it's about 18-19 degrees, pleasant, not too much sun. I mean, I'm not one who can take the sun personally. I get sunburned pretty easily. There's a little show looking at my arms. I look like a ripened tomato, or something like that. More like a cooked tomato. As much as I hate cooked tomatoes, yuck. Anyway, I'm just rabbiting on a little bit now because there's not much in the way of buses coming in at the moment. So that's part of being a YouTuber, doing YouTube lives. Sometimes you've got to have these stories that I can run in the background, you know, to keep it going when the main source of the action isn't available. I'm making it sound like this is a football match or some sort of world-class wrestling match. It's far from that. I know it sounds like I'm putting myself down. I'm not intentionally, because I'm just someone who's open and honest and to the point, especially about my own content. So, we've got a few more live streams planned coming up this week. We're going to do one in Glasgow on Thursday, that's definite. I don't know how long that one's going to last for, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know how long this one's going to run for, to be honest. Jack says, you're right. Well, it's always good to have something that you can use in the background. See, that this is the radio presenter of me coming through, because I will admit I'm a part-time radio presenter. at Cumbernauld FM, and I'm on air tomorrow. I'll be talking a little bit about that on a different video or a different live. I normally do a quick live before I'm going live on air. It's not to promote the show, it's to promote the station basically. So yeah, the thing is, it's also said that even on radio, it's a good thing to have like some backup music should the database fail. And that has happened a few times. It's crashed on me a few times. I've always got the studio laptop handy, and I've always got my pen drive there. It's got some music on it, and there's about maybe, I don't know, 1,000, maybe 2,000 tracks on it. I've always got that just in case. I've only had to use it a couple of times in the 3 years I've been working there. So anyway, back to public transport. Oh, hello. Wee Solo coming round. Oh, we saw that one earlier on the live. Not on the live, on the pre-record. That's the 14th Irvine. Now that it's not so busy around the other side, I think we'll go round to the other side of the bus station and where the buses exit from. If you don't know Ayr that well, the bus station is a bit of a rundown. They've done a good job with that one at Kilmarnock though, I tell you. It used to be quite run down, but when they started getting electric BZLs, the larger version of the BZL, on the number 1 route, they had to have pantographs installed at the bus station to keep the buses charged up, because the charge level on them could only do 2 or 3 runs on the number 1 line 64AXJ there, and they were doing maybe 2 runs on the number 1, and then they were letting the pantograph give the buses a charge. Whether they needed it or not, I don't know, but I've done the number 1 route in full from Kilmarnock, and it's available to watch on the channel. I think I did that early last year if I remember. I want to do some more routes around there, but once I've got the 73s and 74s out the way, I'm thinking about taking a break from doing stagecoach routes, because I'm doing quite a lot of them at the moment, and I don't want it to get boring or for the routes to be getting soured, if you know what I mean. But Jack says, good to see Ayr bus station. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll stop here for a second and I'll pan the camera around and I'll let you see it. That's it. You'll get a better view of it once I go over to where it says the Fullerton Cafe over there is situated. Last time I was down here, I was listening to some music on my headphones, and the X77 had just left. And obviously I was on it, we were just waiting to exit the bus station. And I noticed a sign on it saying 70s, 80s, 90s, and a bit of cheeky naughties with their very own resident DJ, Mr. Tommy Adams. And I thought to myself, I wonder if he's got a very famous brother called Brian. A very famous Canadian brother called Brian. Probably not. So we're good to cross. Yeah, I think we can cross now. So, I'll cross over there in just a moment. I'll have a quick look at the messages, because obviously I've got to watch where I'm going when I'm walking. I can only stop and read your messages every so often, like now. So, what have I missed? Let's have a look. Jack says, good to see you in here today. And Andrew's now saying, I heard might get a couple like 74s through next 25, next 25A. That's very true. You never know with stagecoach. The Volvo BZLs that are in the 747 livery that are just waiting to go into service at Dunfermline depot will probably end up on anything. They could end up any local routes within Dunfermline. They could even end up on the Alloa run, Stirling run, anything. Although seeing an electric bus doing the X22 would be very, very rare. But I thought it'd be rare to see a coach doing the X22. And I haven't seen it with my own eyes yet, but give it time, I will. Anyway, going back to comments. Jack says, good to see you at Airbus station. Busboy says, hello Alba. Then he says, hi Jack, how you doing buddy? How's things? Jack says, nice for you Alba. Then he says, hi Busboy, how's Busboy today? Then Busboy says the following, wanna know who I've seen today? She's on the F16. It's Alba's favourite bus. There's a wee got you one as well. Haha, I know the one he's on about. It is a streetlight. Yes, don't get me started on those. And Jack says, what's Alba's favourite bus? The streetlight 0455. It is not. I can say I hate streetlights. And I don't mean that thing sticking out the ground like that over there. I'm talking about I call them street shites. They're horrible, horrible things. Absolutely disgusting buses, so they are. Anyway, my favourite coach of all time is actually that very make just in front, the Volvo Elite. Although the 9700 is creeping up close. I know you're thinking that's a funny looking 9700, that's a solo. Yes, I know that. But 47838 there on the 14 to Irvine, and I tell you, it is looking busy. That's packed. It's standing room only, that one. I'm not going to film that one because it's standing room only. But it's absolutely packed. Busboy says, well, you rode 0441. Yeah, only because I didn't really have a choice, if I'm being honest, as the LC71 KXS goes past. See, that's the thing now. I'm sure Aaron will forgive me for mentioning this. He doesn't like Enviro 200 EVs. I don't see what's wrong with him. Give me one of those over a streetlight any day. I'll happily take an electric bus. Although I've always said I prefer diesel over electric, but I'll happily take one of them any day. Busboy says, so you should like them. Just because you have to ride a bus every day, mate, doesn't mean to say that you'll have to like them. Because I certainly don't. He says, also, is Shorty still being followed by 170407? Not as much, no. I had a look at 170407 yesterday, and it's not been out for about a week. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. It says, your favourite bus is an X77. It's a Volvo Elite, it's my favourite. I wouldn't say X77 is my favourite route. I don't really have a favourite route, to be honest. There are routes that I do like. Can't think of any that I don't. Well, there's one I don't like. It's the number 3 in Dunfermline. No offence to Jack, because I know that you stay in that area. You've told me that before, but I've got a family member who lives in that route, and we personally don't get along. But I'm not going to discuss that on here because it's private and personal. And Andrew says, my favourite bus is a Panther. Nice choice. Plaxton bodied Volvo Panther by any chance? You've got good choice there. That's excellent. I like that. There's a lot of them up the north of Scotland, especially around Thurso, Wick, that sort of area. Not the easiest place for me to get to, unfortunately, or else I'd have been happy to go up there. Not that I'm putting any route suggestions anyone's way, because Aaron and I did Thurso, Scrabster, to Inverness and back with Ember as an all-nighter. That was a real challenge. That was a real challenge. In fact, I was just watching some of that video that I did on the E6 the other day there. The television was absolute crap on, what night was it? Sunday night. And honk honk to you as well, pal. And I was watching it for a little while. And you could hear me doing a few yawns. Well, trying not to. Mind you, it was 3:45 in the morning, so I was extremely tired. Well, that's LC71 KXR on the 97 to Craig Tara. I've done that route on the channel as well. But I think it was the Trident 18334 that was on it that day. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually true or not, but I'm hearing rumours that the Trident has been withdrawn from service. So that's SF55KOU. That's been withdrawn from service now. But I do believe that someone has actually bought it. It's under preservation. I'm just looking to cross over here. We'll stand over on this side. I know it's supposed to be a taxi line, but there's not. There's only one taxi sitting there. I think they're a bit out of date with their advertising, aren't they? March for a family fun fair. Kind of reminds me of David Essex's album All the Fun of the Fair, 1975 that was. LD72 UHR there on the 43A to Anne Bank. The album actually has one of my favourite songs of the 70s. Hold Me Close, love that song. Busboy says, well, also Alba. And Andrew says, my favourite bus is the Panther. Yeah, I've just noticed that. I was just reading a couple of comments. So LD72 UHR there on the 43A to Anne Bank. We'll maybe do that route sometime. We've got an Enviro 400 MMC over there on the 52 to Bellbank. We'll see that departing when it departs. I'm actually probably in a better position standing here now, to be honest. Although we do get cars going past here, which is one thing. See, there's positives and negatives about all the places where I'll stand and bus spot down here. This is one of them. Another one is just over there, where that metal fence is. But you do sometimes get vehicles coming in and using the edge of that bit there. Just where that man in the pink jumper is. We do get vehicles coming round there, and if the other stances are full. So we've got 28689, it looks like, over there on the number 4 to Kilmarnock, Glasgow. Scania Enviro 300, Kilmarnock Depot. That's one of the YN64 ones, I believe. It's nice to see they're still getting used on the 4. If I'm going to be honest, I'm glad I came down here today. It was not seen as a challenge for me to get up this morning, because yesterday morning I just didn't want to get up. I was starting to feel a bit burnt out, you know, because I've been doing a lot on the channel recently. And someone's not very happy with the horns. I'm not going to say any more about that. Oh, here it comes back on the 52. MXOK, that's MXOK, GOK, it was GOD that we saw earlier on. YN64H dry there, not in service. LC71KXS on the 2A, another route I've done on the channel. As I was saying on a pre-recorded video earlier on, there's a few routes down this area that I've actually done in full. I've done the numbers 1 to 2A, 4, 14, what else? X77, the 97 and 347. I had to think there for a second. I was meant to do the 52 one day, that one, but I had to call the route off one day because I was unwell. And the second time when I planned to do it, a family member had taken ill. Unfortunately, they're now a lot better, thankfully. And so hopefully third time lucky. So anyway, we've got SF62CN over there on the 52. We'll hopefully see an X77 pretty soon. Even though we just saw one a few minutes ago, they're still pretty frequent around here. Every 20 minutes, Monday to Saturday, during the daytime, but I think at tea time they go up to every 15 minutes, potentially every 10 minutes, and that's when you'll start seeing vehicles like Enviro 400 MMCs getting used on it, because all the available coaches will be out. I can only vouch for that, I don't know for certain. Are the MMCs departing? So that's the only downside when you're doing YouTube Live, especially if you're standing on a public pavement, is you've just got people that just walk in front of you, but obviously I can't do anything about that. It's just part of being a YouTuber, something that I accept. Something which has to be done, and something that does happen. SN16OMA there on the 52 to Bells Bank. That's hopefully going to be 13 lucky for us on that route when we do eventually get around to it. And that hopefully won't be too long. As I said, I'm planning to take a little break from doing stagecoach stuff. Once I finish doing the 73, 74, might take maybe take a week or two's break and do some First Glasgow stuff, because I haven't done anything for a long time in association with that. First Aberdeen I've not even touched. I haven't even done a First Aberdeen route at all. And I think there's one on the request list. I got another 2 requests by email last night, and I think one of them was the First Aberdeen route. I'll need to double check that. So I'll probably stay down here till what time am I sitting on just now? Coming up quarter to 5, so we'll probably stay down here. Might get the 29 coach home tonight, but I'm going to go down to Wetherspoons in a little while, get some dinner. I'm not really that hungry at the moment, so I'll probably wait maybe an hour or so. Well, there's Arden's other wee pal up there. Stephen Seagull, look. He's on bus patrol, aren't you, pal? Yeah, there was a video on Arden's channel, and I like winding him off about it from time to time. We were down in Saltash near Penzance. This is the same place where I had a little paddle in the sea, and I went, that's bloody cold! And probably one of the most high-pitched voices I've ever done. And I think I uploaded it onto my channel as well. And Arden basically saw a seagull. He said, "You're my friend. I'm going to call you Stephen," or something like that. And then the seagull responded by making a noise, and he just burst out laughing. So I've been winding him up about that. Every time I see a seagull, I always say, "Here's Stephen Seagull, come back to see you again, buddy." It's about as much as I like to annoy him about 407. Now the Scania looks like it's getting ready to go, although there's still a few more people waiting to go on it. Or is it, no, it's not, it's the Dennis next to it that's running. It's the wee single decker, I think. Anyway, yeah, I still like to wind him up about that. But unfortunately, he's not with me today. Down here alone. Not that I mind, because I know they can't physically do collaborations all day, every day. Tell you what, this bit of the side's starting to get a little bit busy now, so I'll cross over. Why is it whenever side I pick to go do a live stream on, it all seems to get busy? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe the girls are attracted to me that much. Yeah, right. Ain't happening. I'm only kidding, I'm only joking. 28667 there, not in the service. SF62 CEN. And we've got YP63PVK 15948 on the 585. Because I was on PVF just at the weekend there, on Sunday. I did an X55 from Edinburgh to Dunfermline. 28706 there on the 42. And just pulling in on X77 is 54335. Still in the original beach ball livery, which I'll be honest, I said it before, I'll say it again. it's still the best, in my opinion, because that livery stands out, especially the Ayr Prestwick Glasgow and the ship across the sea bit. That stands out. So does the original Clyde Flyer that McGill's had on the Citaros on the 901, 906. Patty Tarn and I were just looking at some old pictures from McGill's and First Bus just a couple of weeks ago, and we saw a few from McGill's West Scotland, which must have been at least 15-20 years old, maybe even more. And they were actually running the 907, which is a route I almost forgot about. That used to run from Glasgow all the way to Dunoon. The bus actually went on the boat with you. So technically McGill's were paying for your ferry ticket. Even though the ferry was only, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes sailing. There is a ferry that runs from Largs all the way over to Millport. And that's, I don't know how much a ticket is on that, I think it's about £4. But it only takes about 10 minutes, and it starts about 7 AM and runs to about 8-9 PM at night. As we see Y64 AHA departing there. Incidentally, this year I was going to actually say that we were going to do a little walk around the Isle of Millport, and we never actually got around to doing it, unfortunately. We never got around to that, sadly. But we'll maybe give it a go and see how we get along with that, maybe sometime in October, before the weather starts getting too cold. Because there's a few other things that I'd like to do with the channel between now and then. So what we'll do is we'll go into the side of the bus station for now. Actually no, we won't. We'll go back to where we were, because it's still looking a bit busy in there. A bit crowded. We'll go back to the other bit, which is just over here, these two bus stops. Just walk up down here now, see if we can see anything. And there's a few things I was meant to do this year, which unfortunately I never got around to. There's other commitments for work and stuff with the channel and all that, which I'm going to do next year. And that also includes a 618 from Glasgow to Blackpool. And it's weekend. I've been told that Buchanan Street is only running at weekends only at the moment. That'll probably be the same next year, I reckon. So we'll just have to see how busy it is. Hopefully not too busy. Because obviously if it's too busy you can't really do much in the way of filming, and you have to be very, very careful. As I know. Being a YouTuber, you've got to know these sort of things. Anyway, we've got that sign over there. It's offering the 347 to Rankinston. I've actually done that route, to be honest. It was actually a really nice run, to be honest. As we see Y64 AHK pulling in on the whatever run it is. It's 42, I think. 28702. Yeah, as I was saying, pulling in, I guess I said that. The 347 to Rankinston, I done that back in April, May-ish time. And it was a little solo. I think it was the SF131 that we saw down here just a little while ago. And Rankinston is sort of over that way towards the main road to Dumfries, the A76. And it's maybe about 15-20 miles southwest. It's in the middle of nowhere, but it was a beautiful run. Quite scenic and quite hilly, where the bus was able to get them down through the gears. And the only downside was the route was every 2 hours, so I just had to scan my concession card again and come back, because I didn't really want to be hanging around for 2 hours in a place that I was unfamiliar with, that didn't even have a pub. Because at least if there was a pub, I could maybe have went, got a drink. Not that I'm condoning drinking, but the odd pint now and then when you're old enough. Nothing wrong with that. So, That's YP63 PVK, just reversing out there. That one I believe is normally on the X36 Glasgow to Ardrossan run. I'm sure I've seen it on that, because the PVF I believe is an ex-Stagecoach Western vehicle, which is now at the Dunfermline depot. So I'm just walking up here just now so that I'm not capturing anyone on camera who shouldn't be, if you know what I mean, because it's still pretty busy around here at the moment. But if you're just joining the stream, welcome. Don't know how long we're going to continue to stream for, but it's coming up 46 minutes since I started. It's actually been pretty lively, to be honest. I'm enjoying it, and thank you for joining me. Thursday we'll be in Glasgow. Saturday we're back up in Dundee. I'm working Wednesday and Friday, so I don't think I'll get a chance to do anything then. Don't know if I'll even do anything live on Saturday or not, I don't know. But next week I'm hoping, not saying this will happen, but I'm hoping we're going to get a chance to go to Edinburgh, because I'm due a visit to Edinburgh, I'm due a visit to Aberdeen as well. I'm due one to quite a few places for some routes and some spotting. We're technically due a visit to Fort William, so I think September's going to be a busy month, not just with Arden, but doing other stuff as well. And also, there's a possibility of a trip to Newcastle. I might just have a little day down in Newcastle, because what we can do is we can get the train. Well, when I say a day down there, maybe an afternoon. We can get the train from Edinburgh to Berwick-on-Tweed. We'll get the X18 finished, and we could do maybe a couple of hours spotting in Newcastle. Maybe even do a live as well, because I've never done a live down there before. And we'll then just get the train back up to Stirling. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to. I'm actually looking forward to doing that. X18 though, I will say, it's going to be a long video. It'll be done recorded, because I don't do full street. I don't do can't talk for some reason. Full length routes, I don't do them live, because obviously you're travelling through different areas and phone signal can be a bit hit and miss. I only do live streams when I'm going to be stationary in the one area where I know the signal's going to be decent.
Stupidness!
And but Newcastle city centre, I'm pretty sure, is going to be pretty decent. We've got a lot of vehicles, so there will be street lights down there. I know there is, because I've seen them last time I was down. You'll have Arriva, Enviro 400 MMCs. You'll have EVs down there, Yutongs, National Express, Flixbus, Stagecoach. What else? Maybe some other local operators that I'm not aware of. So it'll be good. Looking forward to it. If you didn't see my video from last night where I was talking about my thoughts from yesterday, Arden and I met up and we were discussing some more things to go with our trip that we're doing from Land's End to John O'Groats. Now, this is going to be a mammoth project that we're doing. We're doing that maybe in about 3 or 4 years' time. Maybe 2 years' time, who knows. But it's going to cost a fair bit, so we're going to have to save up hard. So we're now in the process where we're discussing where we're going to stay, like hotels and stuff like that. Obviously we're not going to say where we're staying at the moment, because these things might change. You know, because situations do change, hotels close down, they open up, prices go up and down all the time. So we're looking at that, and we've also got a backup plan should anything go pear-shaped, which no one else, it probably will. Although I don't want to jinx things, so we're going to go up the east coast from Land's End to John O'Groats, and then maybe in a year or two after that, we're going to go back down to Land's End and do it up the west coast. that'll definitely be something to enjoy. We haven't discussed hotels at the West Coast yet, but we'll hopefully be doing that at the weekend. We'll be discussing that a bit more, so I'll be able to do a video and update you on that a lot more. Apologies, there's not really much going on at the moment bus-wise. But as I said earlier on, I can only show you a bus when it appears. I can't magically make one appear. I've got some recorded stuff on my tablet, which I'm going to upload later on. I might even do some more recorded stuff later on, because when I finish doing this stream, I might just go to Weatherspoons and get my dinner. So, yeah, tomorrow I'm working, as I said. I won't be doing any lives tomorrow, I'll just be doing recorded stuff tomorrow. I must remember my other cordless headphones, I left them at work last week. So I need to pick them up, probably need to charge them up as well. And on the one to Hayhill is LC71KYB. I think Hayhill's out by Prestwick. I think it's the little housing scheme just east of Prestwick. Maybe, I'm not sure. So yeah. Anyway, I'll try and get through to Dunfermline at some point actually, once these BZLs are out in service, because them on a 747, I don't know how long. I don't know how many runs they'll be able to do in a full charge. I know that's something that Aaron likes to ask me. Could this vehicle do that in a full charge? And I mean, obviously, I can't tell for certain. I can only rough guess it. Because I actually did wonder myself, an X22, if an Enviro 200 EV could do a full day's work on that route, on a full charge. If it's finishing at 6:30, was the last run. The second last run is 5:30 from Stirling, gets into Dunfermline at 6:24. If it's just then going straight back to the depot, maybe it could. I think it maybe could, because if we can do the AA all day and then still stay out to go into another route after that at night time, I think it could do a full route. I think it could do a full day on the X22. And here comes number 3 to Kincaidston again, LC71KXU 64005. We've seen 64006 a little while ago. And just coming back round again on the 43 is YX19OSD. Operating out of the road at the depot at Wagon Road now. I'm not sure where Wagon Road is. As I said before, I don't know Ayr at all. And any other routes down here that sorry. When I'm doing a full length route down here, I've got to research the route, find out where it starts from, work out a timetable, and then find a day that I'm free to do it. That doesn't usually take long to plan. Usually I can plan all that out within a few minutes. You know, say someone requested 3 to Kincaidston, for example. I could say, I've got a free day next week. I can do it then. It leaves here at this time, gets there at that time, comes back at that time. You know, that's how I work it out. I usually just do it online. And I always start by taking a screenshot of the start of the vehicle. Although sometimes I do forget. And I did forget with the 74C. So I do apologise about that. Aaron kindly took an interior shot of it for me. And that was actually a bit of a help, so cheers buddy, I appreciate that. LC71KXY there on the 2A. They're quite nice. I said it before, if you're just joining us, Aaron doesn't like the sound of these electric vehicles. Personally, I still prefer diesel over electric. Sorry if I'm starting to sound like a broken down record. It's not intended. But I still don't see what's wrong with them. They do the job. They get you from A to B. I don't see what's wrong with them personally. I remember someone asking me this question a couple of months ago, and it's something I've been meaning to mention on one of these lives, and I just keep forgetting about it and just never get around to it. So I'll do it today. They asked me, what is the longest route I have ever done on YouTube? Now, I had to reply to their message and ask them, what do they mean by the longest one? Do they mean the longest as in miles, or the longest as in time? And I think I'll break it down into two, right? The longest I've ever done in terms of time, by far, well, not necessarily by far, but by some considerable distance, was the 915, Glasgow to Uig. That took a long time. That's the longest one I've done by bus. We know what the longest one is by train. I still haven't put up the video of where all the routes are combined into one. As you see, LC71KXZ there, also on the 3 ticking kids. And I don't know if they're switching vehicles over or not, I don't know. But now see, that was on the 347 earlier on, and I think that's quite a rare one. BZL YX740HT on the 347. I think that's on loan from Kilmarnock. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Anyway, as I said, the longest one that I've ever done, miles wise, was Glasgow up to Uig, which is about 220 miles, and it took over 6.5 hours. That was a long video, and I still have to do the return on that, because the return journey, the video went absolutely pear-shaped, and my camera suddenly stopped working. I don't know if it was overheating or if something went wrong with it. I genuinely haven't a clue. I'm not that technical. But we need to do that at some point. It will finish in the dark, so that's the only downside to that, because of the time it takes to get into position. I mean, I know there's always the option of staying overnight up there, but I need to think about cost as well. And of course it's a rural place, so availability could be a bit scarce. But it's always an option. Anyway, let's get back down to that bus station. Well, we'll wait till this van goes, and we'll see if we can see any more vehicles down there. Right, we're good to go. But the longest in terms of miles that I've ever done, the longest trip I've ever done miles wise was on the train, and that was Aberdeen to Penzance with Aaron, and that was a brilliant trip, brilliant holiday. I'm doing it again next year as well, right down next year. Filming will stop with Aaron and I, our collaborations, on the 20th of December for this year. And it will resume again on the 5th of January, because Aaron's going to be over Christmas and New Year. I'm not saying where he's going, I know where he's going, but I'm not going to say where, out of respect for the lad, because I believe in that. I potentially might be going away somewhere between Christmas and New Year with family, but it's not confirmed yet. It's not quite near where Aaron's going, because he's going abroad somewhere to another country. Not saying where though, but yep, that's the 347, 100% electric, zero emissions. What was the solo that I got? 347. Bit rattly, but enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Well, it's still the same old stuff that was in the bus station when we saw it, but we'll hang around here for a little while. Although I could be doing a drink, so my throat's starting to go a little bit now. Mind you, all this talking I've been doing. There's that white bus again that I was telling you about. We saw that one on a pre-record, which I'll be uploading a little bit later on. How's my battery doing? 15%. Oh dear. Glad I checked that. I might need to end the stream soon or connect it to my power bank. And I've got my power bank here, but I don't know how much charge is in it because the LED lights on the side have stopped working. Usually what I do is I just use it till it's dead, and then I just charge it up. It usually takes about 16 to 18 hours to fully charge because it's a big bricky, I think. Well, that's going on the X42, line 648 Stry. Now, I think the difference between a 42 and an X42 is that the X42 is more limited to stop. I think it still goes the same route, but we need to do both routes in order to show you the difference. In fact, we'll maybe do that once I've had a little break from doing a stagecoach route. Hopefully I'll try and remember this 42 and X42 return trips. But the little break from stagecoach routes that I'm going to take might not be as long as I'm anticipating it will be. It might just be a couple of days, maybe I might even squeeze in a few other full routes with other operators in the meantime, so technically it might not seem like a break. And I'm hoping one day next week, possibly next Monday, because I'm not doing anything next Monday, we might do the C48. In fact, I'll confirm that on a live in a little while. We'll do a few more lives on the way home and we'll confirm that very shortly. Well, I'll tell you what folks, I'm going to call it quits now and let my phone charge up a little bit. I'll go and get some dinner at Wetherspoons. And we'll do a few more we'll do some recorded stuff over on the power bank. Over on the power bank? Since when could you do recorded videos on the power bank? Gallivanter, you're a plonker. Anyway, we'll do some recorded stuff over on my tablet once I've had some dinner. And I'll do a live maybe in a few hours time. So talk to you later.